Yeah, good morning to everyone. Okay, I think now we will start with the session. So by now you would be knowing what is class, objects, and functions, right? I think from last two chapters or two classes, you have already known the basic terms of object-oriented programming. So in today's session, you will be learning the relationships between the programming defined types and functions. The next step is to transform those functions into methods. Transforming functions into methods. We will be building the relationships. Okay, how we can achieve this, we will be seeing right now. Okay, so before we start with the methods, I want to just show you in my slides that how designing will be carried when a problem statement is given to you. Okay, so let me explain with one simple example. So what I'm going to do is I'll take some entities in the real world. Okay, so I'll just name few entities, like say it could be classroom, then it could be teacher, or it could be student, or it could be college, or it could be country. So these all are entities, right? Now, when I say the entity, we have taken it from the outside world, right? Normally, when a problem statement is given to you, how we identify them as entities? We just identify them by common noun. Now, all these, whatever I have given, you're seeing in the slide is common noun. Now, all the names mentioned here will be common noun, is it? So what we will do from problem statement, we are going to pick common noun from out of it, right? Next, we have already done this. Assume that we have picked all these from a problem statement given to me. What's next? Now, every entity will have properties, right? So if I take an example of classroom, so classroom has an property, right? What type of property it can have? What all you see in the classroom? We'll be seeing uh, uh, chalk, desk, bench, all these things, right? Blackboard or whiteboard, whatever it is. Similarly, when I go for a college, I can say name, place, all these things. Uh, with the same with the student, USN, all these are properties. Every entity will have its own properties, isn't it? Likewise, even for teacher also, likewise, even for country. Now, when I say this, every actually character or every entity along with the properties, you will also see it's some behavior. So let me take an example of this teacher. I'm going to take an example of teacher. Now, every teacher will have properties, right? What are its properties? You will have name, gender, and mobile number, right? Next. And every teacher will have some tasks to be done, right? So that task, let me call it as a behavior. Okay, what type of behavior you will see in teachers? Teaching, conducting the activities, all these things, right? So in behavior, these things, I've just taken two such tasks. One is teacher teaches. The other one is activity, right? So conducting the activities. Now, when I say these complete, the whichever you are seeing in the round rectangle, it has teacher, entity, and its properties and behavior we have. Now, these properties in turn, in object-oriented programming, we call it as data members, as you all know. Similarly, behavior, we'll call it as methods. Now, including both these data members and methods comprises with a class, which you already people know, right? What is class? What is data members? What is methods? Now you are very clear with this, right? Now when we go for now I just want to show you this teacher, that is data members and methods. All these things when put together in a diagrammatic representation, which is called class diagram, you will be looking, it will look like this. That means this actually it is a class diagram. Class diagram in object oriented programming is a diagrammatic representation where it will be very easy for everyone to understand and easy to even design, right? So here for it has to always you know it is very important, students, when it comes to design part. Teacher, this you will have 3 compartments for every class diagram. First one is a class name, second one is its properties, and third one is its methods. Now when I say this teacher name, gender, mobile number, and these things, every teacher or every teacher will be having some objects created. Now what is object then? Now here object is like it will have values. Objects are one which is instance of the class. I can tell it is the instance of the class. Now what is the instance of the class we have seen here? That is name, gender, and mobile, the properties, and teacher's activity. All these two, that is members as well as data members as well as methods, together comprises with the object, right? This is an instance of the class. It is specific instance of the class. Each instance of the class. Now if you see this is a separate one more object. So every instance will have its own value, right? Now if you see, so these are the 3 different instances instantiated from the class, that is teacher. Now we already know what is data members. So what is behavior? Now if you see, I think by now you got a clear picture with what is teacher, what is a class diagram, and what is class, objects, and instantiation or instance, right? Now we will go to a very important features. We should know what are the object oriented features. So object oriented features are nothing but the programs which is going to include class and methods definition, which we have already seen now. Most of the computations is expressed in terms of operations on objects, right? And third one, objects often represent things in the real world, and that is the reason we had taken something which is real world example, like teacher, student, like this. And methods often correspond to the ways things in the real world interact. How I have taken teacher, and teachers, how they actually correspond with the real world, how they interact, teaching, isn't it? So whatever is been told in the third point, the same way we had explained, it is been explained in the previous slide, isn't it? So these are object oriented features, very important object oriented features. Next, this is very important. Now in previous class we saw what are functions, right? Now we should know what is the difference between methods and functions. So if you see here clearly, method is called by its name, but it is associated to an object. Okay. Now let me see first function. Since you have already know what is function, we will see function is a block of code, right? It is a block of code that is also called by the name. It is actually independent. Fine. Whereas this is not the case with a method. So method is called by its name, but it is associated with an object that you will be seeing now. There are a few differences that you will be seeing. Now, next, when you say function, second point, the function can have different parameters or may not have at all. If any data are passed, they are passed explicitly. So that I think previous classes we have already seen with the example. Again, today also I'll take one example and I'll show you how this function will be converted to methods. Now, when you see in the second point of the method is implicitly passed the object on which it is invoked. Now, it may or may not return a data, same even here also in method. In function, in function does not deal with class and its instance concept. That is why, students, we will not use functions. Normally, when we say object-oriented programming, it is always methods. We do have built-in functions we will use. It is not that we will not use, but very enormously we will be using is methods. Whenever I say object-oriented programming, it is always methods. So class, data members and methods. We never call it as functions, right? Next, in this point, you see fourth point of the method. A method can operate on the data that is instance variable that is now what is instance variable? Again, I'll tell you with an example here. So functions are defined outside the class. You have seen we have not followed any indentation if you have seen in the previous class. Just in one line, column we will be following, right? It is always defined outside the class, whereas methods are defined inside the class definition in order to make the relationship. See, this is where we are going to build the relationship between the class and the method. That's why always methods are defined within the class. Yeah, of course, where there is one difference here, the syntax for invoking a method is different from the syntax for calling a function. That is also there. So in your previous class, what did you see? You have seen this as a function. Yes, this was a function, isn't it? So now, how this function is defined, if you see, it is both a class and this function print time is in the same column. So you're not differentiating here. Now, this is my main program. Let me start here. If you see here, time, class, always we start the name of the class with the capital letter. Okay, that is why T is in capital letter. That is a universal rule. Now, time will create a new object, isn't it? So the reference returned by a newly created object, it should be stored in some variable, and this variable is called a reference variable. Now we've called start as a reference variable. Now see, I want to convert this into methods. What do I need to do? Only one difference. That is just put this in one tab space. That's all. Now, earlier this was called function. Now this is called method. So def print time and print, this is, say, these things remains same. Only one difference is you're writing inside the class time. Now, how do I call now? The calling, I told you there is a difference only in calling. So let us see how I can call. So there are two ways. Okay, here we can say there are two ways of calling the function. If you see here, it is being called time.printtime start. This time we are calling, this is a way of calling what? Function syntax. See, both ways we can call, but here using class name, we are trying to call class name dot print time start. Okay, or and this is the most conventional way of calling, that is method syntax. We call this as method syntax. What is that we are trying to do? We are trying to make use of the object, right? The reference variable and dot print time. This is how we call. So these are the two ways of calling. Either I can call through this making use of the name of the class or object name, through object name. So now onwards we'll be using method syntax only, right? So this is the only difference, students. Yeah. Now, please see here. Self is a reference. This is very important. Why we are using self in Python. Self is a reference to the current object. So that is the object which invoke the method. Now, here, second point, if you see, we are self is used to create and initialize instance variables of a class. That is, it creates the attributes for the class. Now, one by one, if you see here, if you see this example, I have taken a demo class as one class name. So if you see here, demo, class demo, within class demo, there are three methods defined. What are the three methods? What are the three methods here? Def, demo, self, comma, name. So self.name is equal to name. So here self acts as a reference. Now if you see here, self is a reference to the current object. What is the current object here? After these three methods here, I have created an object here. Demo class object has been created. OB1 is equal to demo class. Now OB1 is a object created, right? Now here, next what I'm doing, how I'm calling here, ob1.demo1 CSC. What is a parameter I'm going to pass here? CSC as a parameter I'm going to pass. But here in demo 1, how many parameters we have? We have two parameters here, self and name. But this self, by default in method, it will take, whether you have argument or not, self will be there. So self acts as a current object reference. So that is the first point. Second point is it is used to create and initialize instance variables. So any variables you are going to create and initialize, that will be done in through self. Now, third point, if you see, self-reference must be used as a first parameter in all instance method. So all these are instant methods. Okay, you have defined within the class called demo class. So within this instance methods, always the first parameter will be self only. See here, it is self. Now, this fourth point is very important. What is that? Actually, self is not a keyword. Okay, it has no special meaning in Python, but we can use any name in that place. However, it is recommended not to use any name other than self, because this is merely a convention, and for readability throughout world they are using self only. So you can also have a different name, but now onwards we'll be using self only. Let us follow the universal rule only. Now let us see this example. Okay, OB1 is equal to demo class. Now if you see here, I'm calling which method? Demo1 method. So OB1.demo1 CSC, this parameter CSC is passed to this name. Then what is passed to self? That the reference. Whenever you create a demo class, right, a reference is created. So that reference is stored in OB1. So that is stored in self. That is why we call it as self is a reference to current object. Now my current object is what? OB1. Okay. Now self dot name is equal to name. Now what is stored in self dot name? CSC. Okay. Similarly, now one more object has been created with different name, that is OB2. Right. Now again I'm calling which method? Demo1 method only, but I am passing different name here. CITech I'm passing. Right. Now OB1 dot display. Here if you see OB1 dot display name. OB1 dot display name, I'm going to, what is OB1? OB1, it has its now current reference is OB1. Now OB1's reference is stored in display name. Now if you see, Here we have one parameter, but here in the main program, we are not passing any parameter, right? It is empty. That is how, whenever we don't have here, only when we have object reference to be passed, that reference always will be stored in self, in Python, right? That's why in main program, whenever we call, we are not going to pass any parameters, right? That is why it is, now it is going to OB1 means, now which one will be printed? OB1, CSE will be printed, right? Now OB2, again, which one will be printed? OB2, that is CSE2, CI Tech will be printed. Now we'll see here def demo self. Now OB1 demo 3. Even here also, if you have observed here, I'm not passing any parameter here. That's why here, whenever you don't pass any parameter, means that means in method you have only self. Okay. So OB1.demo3, here you are printing self.name. So which name will be printed here? Hello and name, that is CSE. Hello CSE will be printed and hello CI Tech will be printed. So let us see, will it work in the same way how I have explained. So CSE, first was CSE, next CI Tech, hello CSE, hello CI Tech. Okay, so it will be converted to self now. I'll just put it here as self. 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 Okay. Right. 35, 45 and 10, 35, 45. So twice we are printing. So both is possible. Right. So here I'm not passing any parameter, but the start, I'm calling the function through start object, start dot print time and self, because self here we have already given self here first parameter and this is the method. So we are not passing any parameter in the main program. Now, start dot increment. Here start dot increment 75. 75 is the parameter, that is 75 seconds I'm going to pass as a parameter. And because here, if you see here, how many parameters we have? Actually, one is self and other one is seconds. As I told you earlier, self by here, when we call in the main program, if it is in method, if it is two, self and the other, but here we will be passing how many? Only one, that is seconds. Okay. Now, when I print, I'll be getting the value as. So if you see here, we have already seen these two has been printed. Along with that, I have called increment. 75 is been added to the, that is we have incremented. So it is going to increment from which? From seconds, then to minutes, then to hour. Now let us come back here. What is happening here in this method? So 75 is been passed here. So seconds equal to seconds plus self dot time to int. So time to int means all the time, that now everything is converted to integer. What do you mean by that? Now everything is converted to its actually seconds, right? But again, int time to int. Now we'll see here time to int what is happening. So in time to int, what is that here? Only self, which is the current object here, is being passed. Current object is here. Now self dot time. Now this cell which is being called from the main, that is this, that reference will be called to time to int. Now time to int, again, what we, this logic I need not explain, you already know what we are trying to do. We are converting everything into finally into seconds, right? Self dot hour into 60 plus self dot minutes, and minutes into 60 plus self dot seconds. So this completely, now here, this is converted, hour is converted to minutes and minutes is stored here. Now minutes is converted to seconds and final seconds is stored and this is returned. This particular seconds is returned back here, right? Now here again what we are trying to do, we are again calling self, this particular object's self dot into to time, again into to time. Here this I want to demonstrate this with an example, students. Div mod, I'll pass two parameters. What is that parameter I might pass? Say for example 245 comma 60. Okay, now if I say in minutes what will be stored and in seconds what will be stored, right? So in minutes the quotient will be stored. Okay, when I divide 245 divided by 60, if I do, the quotient value will be stored in minutes and the remainder value will be stored in seconds. That is why it is the method name, that is div mod. Oh, yeah. Now, when it is said def int to time, into time self comma seconds. Now this seconds is being passed right here. This particular second is passed here and now we are here actually. Now this function is been called. So now again when you call this function, if you see, observe here, we are creating one more time and actually this we are calling this function. So hope now you will understand what is this, right? So again we are coming back and storing each and everything again in which time format. Okay, minutes comma time dot second, time dot hour and time dot min. So this again we are coming here, we converted everything into seconds. Now again back the seconds we are again converting back to time in form of hour, minute and seconds. Okay, so that is what we have done here. Yeah, now see students, here what is happening here is after is a method where I'm going to call both self and other. If you see here, both are objects. Now how to invoke this method from the main? So there is little difference here. I'll just call it from the main program. If you see here, start is also an object, correct? And here is after I'm calling, where end is also one object, right? Start is one object and end is also one object here. Now I'm making use of end is after start. It also sounds good. Okay, so end dot is after start. So now here, when if you see in this self, in self what is there actually, which method will be called, which reference is there, ends reference is there, and in other we have start. Okay, so this is how we are going to invoke when we have two different time objects. We are going to call, we are going to call in this way. This is the way of calling. Yeah, it has to print. What it has to print, I return, it has to print either true or false. Now end time and start time. So what is end time we know and what is start time we know. Now yes, we are getting true. Fine. Now if in case I make it the other way, say start and end, what would be the answer? You will be getting false because it would be less. So I think we can stop for today.